I still need a haircut and I'm feeling slightly sick. But because you are the bestest people of the whole interwebs, you deserve your February wrap-up. And let's start with yesterday's video where I talked about how I hate first times because I had a first day in my new job. And you all were just so supportive and agreed with me that first days suck. We all knew that the second day was better and that everything will be fine. But you were all like, yes, first days, horrible, I hate that, I hate doing things for the first time. And thank you for that. For some reason that helps to know that I'm not the only one who's scared of doing things for the first time. So let's talk about the job. The day went super perfect yesterday. The job is at a small cinema. And I worked for a big chain of multiplex cinemas in Germany for 14 years. So basically I do have a lot of experience working in cinemas. I've done almost everything that you can do in a cinema. But still I was nervous because this is a very traditional cinema and they only have one cinema with a little kiosk where you can buy tickets and snacks. And I don't know, I was nervous. And it turned out I didn't have to be nervous, not only because I'm very experienced and I know what to do, but also because the girl who was supposed to show me everything was even more nervous than I was because I used to be her boss in another cinema. So that was kind of awkward in the beginning, but as the time progressed, we got along. She showed me how the things work in that cinema and we just talked about how relaxed it is and how much fun it is to work there. And then I can read at work again as well. So I'm looking forward to that and I am really, really relaxed now. Thank you all for your support and take that as an example that first days are fun. Maybe I'll think that the next time I have a first day at work. Let's continue with the wrap-up. We also talked a lot about passion this month because I've been thinking about jobs and passions and what to do and getting old and all these things, and I like to share things with you. And we had a huge discussion about how I feel I don't really have a passion, which led to you guys saying like, what is a passion? Do we need a passion? And I actually put all those videos in a little playlist which you can find in the description because it is very interesting. And from this discussion I went on thinking about the must-do list and 40 things before you die, 40 places to visit before you die. So we talked about these things, so like bucket list things or stuff where you have to compare yourself and what we thought of that. Interesting discussions. Thank you very much. Another video I made, which was very thoughtful, was Thoughts from Today, where I basically saw Grace Helbig do a video in a thoughtful way and in black and white, and I wanted to do a black and white video, and I talked about who I am and who would I be if I didn't do YouTube. Loved your comments as usual. Thank you all for watching it and enduring me with all these weird things I'm doing lately. Which is also another thing which I gave you on Valentine's Day. My art assignment for Never Seen and Never Will, which is Mr. Perfect, and I'm glad you all understood that I wasn't too serious about this. In February I only uploaded the Epic Reads tag, and I know I'm tagged for a lot of other things, and if you have tagged me and I didn't do the tag yet, just tell me again in the comments, because I'm completely lost in what kind of tags I still have to do and what to do. I'm behind, let's be honest, I'm behind. So on to the last discussion video I want to talk about. We talked about fantasy series, and we talked about if we like epic fantasy series or shorter series with like just standalone books. And it was very interesting. A lot of people said like they love all the epic series, but it seemed like 5 books were sort of a limit. A lot of people said if there are more than 5 books, I'm not really that interested. The story drags out forever. Other people said like, oh yes, 10, 20 books. Or yeah, standalones only. It was very interesting. And we talked about the fantasy series because I read Robert Asprin again in this month. I read Missing Persons and Little Miss Marker. This is an older fantasy series and it's all about the magician Skeev and his friends and his gang of people who always go through adventures with him. The books are usually around 200 pages, they're very short, they deal with one adventure and something happens. It's nothing super exciting, it's usually fun, you learn about the friendships, you learn about the characters, some magic, sometimes some different dimensions, and I really enjoy reading them as light, fun reads. Another book I read and reviewed this month is Purple Hibiscus by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, and I really loved this book. The writing was awesome, the story and characters were really interesting, I just couldn't put it down. It was very captivating. It's a coming-of-age novel about a little girl in Nigeria, and her father's very religious and how that affects their life, and also how the political situation in Nigeria affects their life. Just read the book or watch the review, just do it. I also read and reviewed Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin, and I won this book from Robert. Thank you again, Robert. Despite me not liking the book, it was very nice to win it. And yes, I did not like the book. I heard so many good things about this book that I expected to love it. But I didn't really like the writing, and the more I read it, the more the main character got on my nerves, and I really don't think the main character is a nice person. And I don't think that justifying his deeds with his own conflictions and confusions is a good thing. Overall, I really, yeah, not for me. I also finished listening to The Confederacy of Dunces, and this is a rather weird book. I liked listening to the audiobook because the narrator gave the characters real good voices and life, and I really appreciated that. I also appreciated the story in a way. We follow this main character, Ignatius, and he's rather fat and contemptuous, and he thinks he's better than everyone, he understands everything, and he has some weird worldviews, let's say it like that. And this whole book starts with him almost being arrested for loitering in a shopping mall or somewhere, and his mom saving him. And on the way home they have a crash with the car, and so now they have a huge bill that they have to pay for, and the mom says go work. And he's like 30 something, so of course he could work. But we see him trying to find jobs and hold on to jobs, and how he's doing that, and how he just interacts with different characters, and how he affects all their life. That's mainly the book. Ignatius working different jobs, affecting tons of people's lives, and how he spreads chaos. And it's rather weird. It just feels like a car crash. It's fascinating, and you cannot stop reading. But it's not really something you'd be like, oh yeah, I feel comfortable with this. I like these characters. I want to know more about them. All of the characters are so highly exaggerated that it just feels funny already. But for some reason that all works, and I don't know why. But it was very fun, I guess. I liked it. And that's been my February. Let's talk about your February in the comments, and I'll see you all soon. Bye bye.